Maurice Richard, also known as the Rocket, is considered one of the greatest ice hockey players of all time. Throughout his career, Richard had several memorable moments in the playoffs that solidified his status as a legendary player. In this video, we will look back at some of the greatest moments in Maurice Richard's playoff career. 1. The 1951 Stanley Cup Finals. One of Richard's most iconic moments came in the 1951 Stanley Cup Finals. Facing off against the Toronto Maple Leafs, Richard scored the game-winning goal in overtime of Game 3 to give the Montreal Canadiens a 3-0 series lead. This goal not only helped the Canadiens win the Stanley Cup that year, but also showcased Richard's clutch performance in crucial moments. 2. The 1955 Stanley Cup Playoffs. In the 1955 Stanley Cup playoffs, Maurice Richard had a record-breaking performance that still stands to this day. Richard scored a total of 11 goals in one playoff series against the Detroit Red Wings, setting a new record for the most goals in a single playoff series. This incredible feat solidified Richard's reputation as a goal-scoring machine and helped the Canadiens capture their seventh Stanley Cup. 3. The 1944 NHL Playoffs. During the 1944 NHL playoffs, Maurice Richard made history by becoming the first player to score 5 goals in a single playoff game. In Game 2 of the semifinals against the Toronto Maple Leafs, Richard dominated the ice and led the Canadiens to a 5-1 victory. This impressive performance showcased Richard's scoring prowess and established him as a force to be reckoned with in the playoffs. 4. The 1943 Stanley Cup Finals. In the 1943 Stanley Cup Finals against the Boston Bruins, Maurice Richard had a standout performance that helped the Canadiens secure their first Stanley Cup in over a decade. Richard scored a total of 5 goals in the series, including a hat-trick in Game 1, to lead the Canadiens to victory. His strong play throughout the playoffs earned him the nickname The Rocket and cemented his legacy as one of the greatest players in NHL history. 5. The 1947 Stanley Cup Playoffs. During the 1947 Stanley Cup playoffs, Maurice Richard once again rose to the occasion and delivered a remarkable performance. In Game 5 of the finals against the Toronto Maple Leafs, Richard scored the game-winning goal in overtime to give the Canadiens a 3-2 series lead. This goal proved to be crucial as the Canadiens went on to win the Stanley Cup in 7 games, with Richard leading the team in scoring. Maurice Richard's playoff career is filled with unforgettable moments that have solidified his status as one of the greatest players in NHL history. From record-breaking performances to clutch goals in crucial moments, Richard's impact on the game of hockey is undeniable. As we look back at some of the greatest moments in his playoff career, it is clear that Maurice Richard's legacy will continue to inspire future generations of hockey players for years to come.